Obviously, Wisconsin, a very, very good team. You know, their style of play. It's a lot of really tough one-on-one matchups. You know, they isolate you in the post. They make you pay if you make mistakes. I think Ethan Happ. I don't know if he's the best player. He's one of the best players in the league, but he is the toughest cover, in my opinion, in the league. Very, very challenging. And obviously Nigel Hayes, been a good player for a long time. Bronson Koenig, good player for a long time. Vito Brown is they're a very good team, Showalter. So we got our hands full, but it was good to get a week off. Hopefully get the offense improved because it needs to, and continue to get better. And we've had a good week off, and looking forward to tomorrow.
You don't have breaks of that length very often. I don't think for the rest of the season. Do you think it came at a good time after a couple?
I think you get two a year. So I think we have one more, Illinois. I think it's before the Illinois game. But yeah, sometimes it just falls where you may not need it. I think it's always nice when you lose to play right away just to get that feeling out. But I think we needed a little time to get our offensive confidence back. We really lost it in the Penn State game. I don't necessarily – I just thought Michigan State kicked our butt. We're in Penn State. We really lost confidence offensively during that game. So we've gotten back to work, and, I've looked good this week.
Was it just a matter of missing shots, or did you change anything with how you're attacking?
I think it was a lot of missing shots, to be honest. And then it just seemed like we kept getting deep into the clock. I think our flow, when plays break down, could always improve. It needs to get better. But I thought Nate had a bunch of good looks, just didn't hit them. And then it just seemed like it's contagious in a good way. It seemed like it got contagious the other way. And we were just very, very apprehensive to shoot the ball. So we got to get over that. I don't think we're a great offensive team, but we're a much better offensive team than we have shown.
Will you try Akeem Springs in the starting lineup tomorrow to try to spark things?
We've looked at it this week and look at it again today, and it's not necessarily from a starting lineup standpoint. It's maybe just changing a little bit of the lineup, substitutions and those things, and see if that'll work. So we'll give it a look again today. And, they've all looked good. Dupree's looked good. Akeem has looked good. I talk about it all the time. Doesn't matter a whole lot to me, but, it's something that we've looked at.
Richard, when things aren't going quite the way you want it to, how much do you balance trying to tinker and trying to kind of change things up a little bit with just stay the course? Let's just do what we do and do it a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same plays and it's the same personnel that we scored 90 at Purdue, and I thought the offense has been fine. So I think it's getting back to live reps in practice and getting their confidence back. That's more than anything. I don't think it's an X and O thing. I think it's just a confidence thing, seeing the ball go in the basket, and playing. Sometimes when you have 2 days in between a game, you're not doing a lot of 5-on-5, where we got back to that, and I thought it helped the guys.
You talk about confidence a lot, see the ball going. Is that Nate Mason in particular? How do you get him back?
Yeah, he's I had a long talk with him and just said, you don't need to score 30 a game, but we kind of go where you take us, and I think everybody feeds off of him. And when he's playing confident like he was doing versus Purdue, it's infectious. Even Northwestern, getting the ball, knocking down free throws. I just think it rubs off on everybody, and that's because we have a young team. It's really him and Akeem. Bakari and Gass are older, and Reggie's older, but when it comes to guards, we don't have a lot of old guys. So it's very important that Nate, he's been there before. He needs to be the most confident guy in the court. And when he is, he's a pretty good player.
You talked, I think, recently about Akeem needing to be patient at the start, sort of finding his groove with the new team. I guess, how do you feel like it's gone for him as the first-year guy jumping in, but also becoming a guy?
Yeah, it's been good. I mean, because he came from a system that's different than our system, more of a Wisconsin type system. So it's going to take an adjustment. It was going to take an adjustment because he came here late. but he's been nothing but a team guy. He's been a really good leader. Obviously, he's hit some shots that we've needed him to do. Defensively, he's been very, very good. He's a tough kid. So he's been integrated slowly, and you could just tell he's getting really, really comfortable.
Richard, I mean, they start, 4 seniors, guys that play a lot together. Is that pretty unusual college basketball nowadays?
Yeah, well, and what they obviously do a tremendous job of is they keep guys in their program. They redshirt them. I mean, Ethan Happ is a sophomore, but he's an old sophomore. And then obviously you've got 4 seniors who have won a lot of games. So Wisconsin, I've always felt like to win in this league, you got to find a way to be old, and you do that through balancing out your recruiting classes. And they're terrific at it. And their guys are patient. They develop. You look at Frank Kaminsky. Guy was a redshirt, and he's terrific. Ethan Happ was, not a big recruit, and he's a terrific player. So they do a very, very good job of identifying talent, developing them, staying patient. Getting your guys to be patient is pretty tough to do.
How do you get a kid at redshirt this year?
Pretty hard.
Basketball,
It's pretty hard, but what they've done is, Frank Kaminsky, I don't know if he was National Player of the Year, but he was close, was he? So, you go to that blueprint and say, hey, it worked for him. We'll make you National Player of the Year. Do it. But it's they've been successful with it. And so obviously to look back at that and say, okay, we've done this before, it's worked, and we believe you can do that, obviously has helped.
They've gone through coaching changes with moving from Bo to Greg. They've had player changes. But in what ways do you think that Wisconsin's evolved since the first time you saw him as a head coach?
Not a whole lot, and that's a compliment. They've been very good since I've been here. Greg's pretty similar to Bo in a good way. Their demeanors are pretty similar on the bench. Greg probably doesn't get on the refs as much as Bo does, but Greg's got a great demeanor. That their system is they're obviously they recruit to it well. So I don't think there's been a whole lot of difference. They were really good when I came here, and they've been pretty good ever since.
Richard, they're pretty good rebounding. What kind of a battle is that going to be on the glass for you guys?
Yeah, last game, Michigan game, was a physical battle, and they were really going after each other. So our guys have got to realize, as much as the offense struggled versus Penn State, we had chances to win the game, and we didn't get 2 crucial defensive rebounds. So they've got to understand, we're obviously a pretty good half-court defensive team, but you got to finish the possession with a rebound, and that's something we keep harping on our guys with. And Wisconsin, they're big, they're strong, so it's kind of tough to simulate that. Obviously, we're a little bit taller this year and we got better length, but it's something where they're going to have to understand. You're going against older guys, 4 seniors, guys who have been here for a long time. You better secure every single rebound. That's going to be a tough challenge.
Rich, you guys are obviously, your program has momentum now, recruiting, wins. Is tomorrow a good benchmark in terms of big game? It should be a great atmosphere, kind of another step along that process.
Yes and no. For our guys, I'm assuming it's close to a sellout, if not a sellout. I want them to be proud of the fact that people want to see them again. I want them to be proud of the fact that when our first game, wasn't a lot of people here, which it happens in college basketball. I don't think it's that rare, but that they've earned people's respect back. And obviously getting ranked was a little bit of a, step in the right direction. Getting people's respect back, another step in the right direction. So I want them to be proud of that. But we still know, obviously, we've got a lot of games left, and we've got a really good program in front of us coming into our building. So, it's a testament to our guys that they've kind of stayed level-headed throughout this whole thing because, obviously it wasn't very good in the off season, and we kind of had to sit there and deal with it, which is fine. We deserved it, and we fought hard to get our fans back, and it's exciting to have that opportunity.
Your first year, you had a big game here versus Wisconsin. You won. I think they were top 10. That was your first experience kind of in that rivalry. What do you make of just when you play Wisconsin? How maybe the fans treat it differently. Obviously a lot of Wisconsin fans here come seems like a bigger game than everybody else. I know you guys try to treat it like it's any other game. But what did you remember from that experience?
Well, obviously I remember winning, and that was a great feeling. Trying to, what exactly? Just talking about the game, or what are you?
Yeah, I mean, it was.
What avenue are you trying to go down? I'll try to roll with you on this one. My
But
f-
the game against Wisconsin,
Right.
I mean,
Does it mean
means a lot
more?
more to everybody else maybe than it did.
Yeah, I don't think most coaches get involved in rivalries. I think fans do. I mean, obviously me growing up, Louisville, was as big as it gets. Obviously, this is a big rivalry. For me, it's the next game. It is a very difficult opponent. And I know it means a lot to our fans. But for us as coaches, we just try to lock in on the scouting report, lock in on getting our guys better and being as prepared as possible. But it's a fun game to be a part of. That's for sure.
You guys don't have, I mean, non-conference is no real regional rivalry, and I know Wisconsin. This is a big recruiting area for them. Want to keep them out, so it means. I know it means a little bit more than to the coaches. I mean, didn't Ben Johnson talk to you a little bit about the rivalry coming in that maybe you didn't know because he played in it and he's from Minnesota?
3 years ago, yeah. I'm on year 4. Yeah, it's a big rivalry. I think it's there's obviously a lot of Wisconsin people that live in the Twin Cities. So I know our fans love it. Football, basketball, whatever sport, I know they love it. So it's a fun game to be a part of. And rivalries are very, very important to fans, and we understand that. But for us, it's the next game. And, we've got to do our best to beat a really, really good opponent.
Wisconsin obviously has some really talented bigs, but without them having like a true center, do you think this is a good game matchup-wise for Reggie?
Why isn't Ethan Happ a true center? What could he do to gain your respect as a true center?
I don't know. I guess I saw him once before, but maybe I'm wrong.
No, he's a center, and he's really good.
What you said he's the toughest cover?
Yeah, I think he's a very challenging cover because of very, very skilled in low post. If you trap him, he's a terrific passer. He's got an unorthodox game. He doesn't shoot jumpers or anything like that, but I mean, he will back you down and spin and reverse pivot and pivot again and try to get you up in the air. So it's to me, when it comes to our league, Caleb Swanigan's terrific, but he's right up there. And because he's got an unorthodox game, and we tried. We put Michael Hurt at the 5 yesterday in practice to simulate kind of his skill set, and it was actually pretty effective.
Is it just being disciplined?
You got to be disciplined, and again, because they've got so many terrific passers on the court, terrific shooters. If you fall asleep, he's gonna make you pay. Really long arms, and he's gets a lot of steals, but he's just got kind of this unorthodox game that's very, very efficient and very, very effective and difficult to simulate going into a game.
I think we've talked about it before, but do you hope that Amir Coffey coming here has sort of a ripple effect on other local recruits looking ahead to future classes?
Well, I think we've done a pretty good job locally of recruiting guys. Jarvis Johnson I thought was a very good get for us. Obviously hasn't played. Getting Amir and Michael, 2 best players in the state. You can't take all of them. And sometimes it's not a fit. So I think whenever a local kid does well, everybody's watching, and that obviously is a positive for you because they know him, they played on the AU teams with him, et cetera. So if you do get a local guy and he's playing well, it can only help.
PJ Fleck talked about building up walls around Minnesota. Do you think that can help a program to have a number of local guys that fans have seen before and are already excited about, like Amir?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think if you look in the Big Ten, there's a lot of state schools, and it's extremely important to recruit, your home state. For us, I think the bit of a different dimension with us is from a basketball standpoint, there's not traditionally a lot of players out of North Dakota, South Dakota. you normally try to circle within a 4-hour radius to get players, 4 or 5 hours. Well, there's not a lot, so you got to make sure the local guys, you're in there if they fit what you're trying to do. So I think the blueprint of all these state schools in the Big Ten, look at Wisconsin. They got a lot of Wisconsin kids, and we've got to do the same, and I think we've got 5 or 6 right now.
Jordan, his field goal percentage is kind of down in the Big Ten. I mean, he talked about obviously his lack of size at the position, but offensively, what have you seen from him that maybe he struggles? He's struggling this year.
I don't know if it's necessarily anything that I'm seeing differently this year than last year. I think his low post game will have to continue to evolve. I think last year he got a lot of points off of dunks, rebounds, transition. So it's probably because he had a good year last year. I'm sure people are, circling him on that scouting report. But I'm happy with where he's at, just like I am everybody. I mean, you're sitting at 15-4 with a very young team. 3-3, and obviously to get some crucial road wins, to start 4 or 6 on the road, to be sitting at 3-3, and to play some really difficult opponents. We like where we're at, and I think Murph has been significant, contributor in that. Great, thank you.